Hey, what's going on? This is Greg Helbeck here, and welcome to this week's REI Deal Breakdown. This week, I'm talking about 37 Well Sweep Drive in Sugar Loaf, New York. This is an oldie but a goodie, and it's an interesting lead, and it was an interesting deal, so I figured I'd share about it, and you're going to be blown away when you hear this video. So, long story short, this originally came from a mailer years ago, and the guy was calling, and he's like, hey, I want to sell, and, the house is vacant, I live in Virginia, blah, 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 blah. So we got into like, hey, why, what's your mortgage? And he's like, I'm upside down on my property. I'm like, well, you don't have enough equity to sell. I don't think this is going to make sense. And he's like, I have a feeling the bank is going to basically take nothing for the house. And I was like, okay, like tell the bank I'll offer them 40 grand. Like kind of was like joking basically. And the bank actually agreed to this. So what ended up happening, to explain this in English, is the guy filed bankruptcy. He had a bunch of delinquent taxes, and the mortgage was still on the property. But the bank basically gave up. They're like, forget about this asset. We don't want it. We're just going to let it go to the tax auction. So the bank basically, they had like $500,000 in debt owed on the property. They took 40 grand. So there was a $40,000 mortgage to pay off. I think there was like a $50,000 judgment, and there was like 30 in taxes, and there was something else going on. But long story short, I ended up getting the property under contract, and the bank and all these people who were owed money from this guy all had payoffs, and I ended up getting the deal at a good price. If I knew what I knew now, oh my God, I would have bought this thing and either moved in there, or I would have freaking, renovated the crap out of it and sold it for a huge profit. But I ended up selling it to my buddies. I made $30,000 wholesaling it, I believe. I think it was like a $30,000 assignment fee, which at the time was a big deal, right? Because to me, it's like that was huge, right? That helped me really get started and grow my business. So why did I tell you that story? Number one, you never know until you market to somebody, right? Like he could have not called me, the only reason he called me is because I sent him a letter, right? So go out there and market. Number two is I've never bought a house I didn't make an offer on. So he was like, God bless me. He was like, hey, make an offer. And I said, all right, well, I could have said, oh, yeah, the bank owes too much money. It's not worth my time. And I could have walked away and I wouldn't have made 30 grand. But I said, all right, I'll make you an offer, 40 grand. I was kidding, and the bank took it. So here's the point. Make an offer on every property you get involved in. You never know until they accept or reject your offer. And yeah, that's the lessons on this one. 37 Well Sweep, Chester or Sugar Loaf, New York. Make offers, send out marketing, be consistent, be persistent. This one was not easy to close. There was a lot of hair on the deal. It was a mess on title, but we were able to find a way to get it done, and it ended up being a good deal for everybody. So if you got value, if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you want to get coached by me, have me teach you how to find deals like this, book a call with Greg.com. If you want to learn how to use direct mail strategically, directmailclass.com. And if you want to JV with me and do deals like this with me in my local market, or you want to wholesale them to me, email me, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com with the subject line deals, and I'll see you on the next video.